Most dog owners think it's cute when their pup spins in circles, licks their face, or drags across the carpet. But what if I told you these so-called funny habits could actually be red flags your dog is begging you to notice? As a veterinarian, I can promise you ignoring them could mean missing the earliest signs of pain, illness, or even a life-threatening condition. And here's the scary part. One of the behaviors I'll reveal today is something over 80% of owners dismiss as normal, until it's too late. Stay with me, because once you understand what these hidden signals truly mean, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. Number 1. The tail-chasing warning. At first glance, it looks funny. Your dog spinning like a furry tornado chasing its own tail, as if the world disappeared. You probably laughed, maybe even grabbed your phone to film it. But let me ask you, what if that playful spin wasn't a game at all, but a desperate signal? Imagine a record stuck on repeat, circling endlessly with no way out. That's what obsessive tail chasing feels like inside your dog's mind. While puppies may chase tails out of curiosity, an adult dog doing it again and again could be battling boredom, anxiety, or even pain deep in their spine. The scarier truth: some dogs injure themselves so badly they bleed, unable to stop the cycle. So next time you see that spin, don't just smile. Ask yourself, is this joy or is this suffering? And if tail chasing hides a secret, wait until you hear what face licking really means. Number 2. Why does your dog lick your face? Love or survival instinct? Every morning before you even reach for your coffee, there it is. That wet, sloppy kiss right across your cheek. You smile, maybe even whisper, "I love you too." But what if I told you your dog isn't simply saying, "I love you"? What if they're reading you, tasting you, almost like scanning your emotions with a hidden radar? To your dog, your skin is a living diary. The salt from your sweat, the faint changes in your hormones, they reveal stress, joy, even sickness. It's less like a kiss and more like a medical exam disguised as affection. Think about that. Could your dog know something about your body? Before you do, cancer patients have reported increased face licking before diagnosis. That's not coincidence, it's instinct. But here's the twist. It's not always about love. In the wild, puppies lick their mother's face to trigger feeding. So when your dog licks you, part of them may be checking, have you eaten? Where have you been? What secrets do you carry in your skin? Beautiful, right? But also unsettling. And if face licking makes you uneasy, wait until we uncover why your dog kicks furiously after pooping. It's not about covering anything up. Number 3. The poop-kicking secret. You've seen it, your dog finishes their business, then suddenly launches into a furious dance, scratching the ground like a tiny bull in the arena. Most owners laugh and assume, oh, they're just covering it up like a cat. But here's the truth. They're not hiding anything. They're broadcasting. Every scratch of those paws is like hitting send on a scented email. Invisible pheromones are released from glands in their feet, painting a chemical message across the ground. It's a message only dogs can read: their age, their health, even their social rank. Think of it as graffiti in the dog world, loud, bold, and impossible to ignore. And the harder they kick, the stronger the statement. Have you ever wondered why some dogs scrape so aggressively, while others barely touch the soil? That's dominance versus submission written in dirt. Scientists have discovered other dogs can smell these messages weeks later, like reading a newspaper headline long after it was printed. Amazing, right? But if ground scratching is about leaving a mark for the world, what about when your dog turns their attention to grass and starts eating it like salad? That habit holds an even older secret. Number 4. Why do dogs eat grass, just a harmless snack, or something more serious? Picture your proud carnivore, a descendant of wolves suddenly lowering their head and munching on your lawn like a sheep at a buffet. You laugh, maybe even think, oh, they just like salad. But here's the unsettling truth. This act is older than domestication itself. For some dogs, grass works like nature's medicine cabinet. Certain blades trigger vomiting, helping them purge toxins or soothe nausea, almost like a green bottle of Pepto-Bismol. But here's the twist. Only about 1 in 4 grass-eating dogs actually vomit. So why are the rest chewing obsessively? Scientists believe it's a wolf legacy, a ritual passed down from ancestors who used grass fibers to flush out intestinal parasites. And for many modern dogs, it's not sickness at all. It's addiction to texture taste and the sweet sap inside young blades. But beware. If your dog is frantically devouring grass every day, it could mean something far darker: inflammatory bowel disease or even tumors hiding deep inside. So next time you see that lawn munching, don't just shrug it off. Because if grass can be medicine, it can also be a silent cry for help. And speaking of comfort, have you noticed what your dog chooses to sleep on when you're away? That choice reveals even more. Number 5. Sleeping on your clothes. Have you ever walked into your bedroom only to find your dog curled up on the very shirt you tossed on the chair, ignoring the expensive bed you bought just for them? At first it feels cute, maybe even funny, you think. They just love the smell of me. But pause for a moment. What if that habit wasn't only about comfort, but about survival? Your clothes hold thousands of microscopic scent molecules, tiny invisible fingerprints of who you are, where you've been, even how you're feeling. To your dog, those molecules are more than fabric, they're home safety and medicine all at once. When you leave, your scent lowers their stress hormones, easing the ache of separation, anxiety, like a natural anti-anxiety drug. It's their way of hugging you when you're not there. But here's the deeper question. Are they seeking comfort, or are they desperately clinging to proof that you'll come back? In the dog world, scent is ownership. When your dog buries their nose in your worn clothes, they're also guarding you, marking you as mine, against the invisible competition of the outside world. And the dirtier the clothes, the stronger the bond. Beautiful, isn't it? But also heartbreaking, because it means your absence weighs heavier on them than you realize. And if their bed of choice says this much about their emotions, wait until you see what their urge to dig holes in your yard really reveals. Number 6. The digging mystery. You spend hours perfecting your backyard, planting flowers, smoothing the soil, only to wake up the next morning and find craters everywhere, as if a tiny construction crew worked overnight. You might think, why is my well-behaved dog turning my yard into a battlefield? The answer is older than any fence you built. Buried deep in their DNA, your dog carries the instincts of wolves who once dug dens for survival. In the heat of summer, just a few inches of soil are cooler than the air, creating a natural air conditioner. In the cold of winter, those same holes trap body heat, forming a crude but effective shelter. What looks like destruction to you is architecture to them. But that's not all. Some breeds were designed for it, terriers with paws like shovels, driven to chase prey underground. For others, digging is therapy, a way to release nervous energy like humans, stress eating at midnight. Pregnant dogs even dig to prepare a nursery, repeating rituals of ancestors long gone. And sometimes, the digging reveals secrets you never suspected. One dog uncovered a leaking water pipe, saving its owner thousands of dollars. Incredible, right? But here's the bigger question. Is your dog digging to play to cope? Or to warn you of something hidden beneath the surface? Because if dirt can hide their deepest instincts, what about the simple stretch they give you at the door? Could that be hiding a love letter in disguise? Number 7. The stretching secret. You open the door after a long day, and there it is. Your dog lowers their chest, stretches their front legs, tail wagging like a flag in the wind. You smile and think, oh, they just woke up from a nap. But what if that stretch wasn't about stiff muscles at all? What if it was their way of whispering, I love you in a language you've never truly understood? In the wild, this posture is called the greeting bow, a ritual reserved for the most trusted members of the pack. It's not laziness, it's readiness. That stretch releases the tension from waiting all day, preparing their body to leap to play, to celebrate your return. And here's the extraordinary part. When they do it, their body releases oxytocin, the same love hormone that floods through a mother holding her newborn. Imagine that your dogs stretch, syncing their heart with yours. But here's the question, do they stretch this way for everyone? Or only for you? Security cameras show dogs almost never greet strangers with this ritual. It's personal. It's sacred. And the deeper the stretch, the stronger the bond. Beautiful, right? But if a simple stretch carries such devotion, what does it mean when your dog proudly drops a toy, a sock, or even a dead critter at your feet? The answer is stranger and more touching than you think. Number 8. The gift mystery. You've seen it. Your dog trots proudly across the room, tail wagging high, something dangling from their mouth. Maybe it's their favorite toy. Maybe it's your missing sock. Or maybe, to your horror, it's a dead mouse. You laugh, you scold, or you sigh. But let me ask you, what story is your dog trying to tell with that offering? In the language of wolves, bringing food to another pack member was the highest act of loyalty. It wasn't about sharing, it was about survival. When your dog drops that soggy tennis ball or that chewed-up slipper at your feet, they aren't saying, play with me. They're saying, I'm providing for you. You're my family, and I don't want you to go hungry. Strange as it sounds, some dogs genuinely believe you're a terrible hunter who needs help. And here's the twist. Dogs often choose their gifts based on your emotions. Feeling sad, they might bring you a playful toy, hoping to spark joy. Feeling stressed, they may offer something soft or comforting, as if handing you their version of medicine. Isn't that remarkable? They're not just sharing objects, they're sharing their soul, their trust, their deepest instinct to care for the pack. But here's the haunting question, do you recognize it as love, or do you dismiss it as annoyance? Because, for your dog, every gift is a piece of their heart, wrapped in fur dirt or slobber. And if gifts can speak this loudly, what about something as subtle as a tilt of the head? That simple motion might be decoding your very feelings, and it's even more fascinating. Number 9. The head tilt puzzle. Picture this. You say your dog's name, and suddenly their head tips to the side, eyes wide, ears perked like they're trying to solve a riddle only they can hear. You melt inside because it looks adorable. But here's the truth, that tilt is not just cuteness. It's calculation. Think of it as a living radar dish, adjusting angles to capture the faintest sound waves. Dogs use the tilt to triangulate exactly where a noise is coming from, like scientists running physics experiments in real time, only with fur and floppy ears. But it's not just about sound. When they tilt, they're also adjusting their view, peeking around the obstruction of their snout to read your lips, your eyes, the micro-expressions on your face. Imagine someone leaning closer to catch your whispered secret. That's what your dog is doing. And here's the part that might surprise you. Research shows dogs tilt more when hearing emotionally charged words than when hearing neutral ones. Could it be that they're not just listening, but actually feeling with you? Some even fake head tilts, because they've learned it melts your heart and earns them treats. Manipulative geniuses, aren't they? But let me ask you, next time your dog tilts their head, will you still see cute? Or will you recognize the silent effort to connect mind to mind? Fascinating, isn't it? And if something as subtle as a head tilt reveals so much about their brain, wait until you see what happens when their whole body explodes into chaos. Those wild Zoomies might not be as harmless as you think. Number 10. The Zoomies. You've seen it, the calm, sweet dog who suddenly transforms into a lightning bolt, sprinting circles through the living room, sliding across floors, bouncing off furniture like a furry pinball. You laugh, maybe grab your phone to capture the chaos. But here's the question. What's really happening when your dog explodes like that? On the surface, Zoomies look like pure joy, the canine version of dancing when the music is too good to resist. But beneath that chaos is biology. Dogs build up energy like a pressure cooker, and the Zoomies are the steam valve bursting open. Some triggers are innocent post-bath relief, the thrill of seeing you bedtime jitters. But other triggers whisper something deeper. Puppies zoom more because they're practicing survival, how to escape predators, how to hunt with speed. And here's the dangerous part: on slippery floors, thousands of dogs injure themselves each year during these frenzied sprints. Fractures, sprains, even torn ligaments. That's joy turning into risk in the blink of an eye. So ask yourself, are the Zoomies just fun, or are they your dog's desperate way of burning energy you haven't helped them release? A safe play session or a daily walk might prevent chaos from becoming danger. And if a whirlwind of energy can hide such urgent needs, imagine the meaning behind something as simple as a yawn. Because when your dog yawns at you, it may not be sleepiness at all. It could be a quiet scream for help. Number 11. The Yawning Mystery. You're sitting on the couch, your dog looks at you, and suddenly that long, dramatic yawn escapes. You chuckle. Guess someone's ready for bed. But what if that yawn wasn't about sleep at all? What if it was your dog's way of whispering, "I'm overwhelmed and I need help"? Think of yawning not as bedtime behavior, but as an emotional safety valve. Dogs yawn 5 times more when stressed than when tired. It's their version of deep breathing, pulling oxygen into the brain to calm themselves, to think clearly in the middle of chaos. Imagine standing in front of a crowd, nerves racing. You take a deep breath to steady yourself. That's what your dog is doing, only their breath comes wrapped in a yawn. And here's the touching part: yawns are contagious. Not just between humans, but between dogs and the people they love. When your dog catches your yawn, it's proof of emotional synchronization, as if their heartstrings are tied to yours. But here's the darker side. Excessive yawning during training or loud environments may mean your dog is drowning in anxiety, silently begging for a break. Do you see the warning? Or do you mistake it for sleepiness? Because if a simple yawn can reveal hidden stress, imagine what it means when your dog lowers their head to lick your feet. That act may look silly, but it carries centuries of meaning. Some of it sweet, some of it unsettling. Number 12. The foot-licking mystery. You come home, kick off your shoes, and before you know it, your dog is glued to your feet, licking like they've just discovered a 5-star buffet. You laugh, maybe wrinkle your nose, and say, "Gross." But here's the unsettling question. Why are they so obsessed with your feet of all things? On the surface, the answer is simple. Sweat. Your skin carries concentrated salt, a mineral dogs crave, especially after you've been walking or exercising. To them, your feet are the saltiest part of you, irresistible like a hidden candy stash. But the story doesn't end there. In the language of wolves, licking the feet of an alpha was a gesture of submission, a way of saying, I know my place. I respect you. When your dog licks your toes, it may not be about taste at all. It may be worship, a humble ritual carved into their DNA. Yet, there's another twist. Excessive foot licking can signal something missing in their diet, like a sodium deficiency, or even reflect their anxiety channeling nervous energy into a compulsive habit. So ask yourself, is this affection addiction or a cry for balance? Fascinating, isn't it? Because behind every lick, scratch, or stretch, your dog is speaking a language older than words. So now you know every tail chase, every sloppy kiss, every stretch at the door. They were never just quirks. They were messages, ancient signals carried through centuries of evolution, whispered in a language only a dog and their human can share. Behind the Zoomies, the yawns, even the obsession with your old socks, lies a story of trust, survival, and love so deep it doesn't need words. Think about it. Your dog doesn't speak, yet they tell you everything through eyes that tilt paws, that dig, and tongues that never seem to rest. The question is, are we truly listening? Because the more we understand, the stronger the bond becomes. And for a dog, that bond is their entire world. If this video helped you see your dog in a new light, don't let the learning stop here. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay with us. Because in the next video, we'll unlock another hidden truth that could change the way you look at your best friend forever.